Good morning, everybody. It's time for Coffee with PC on this Friday. It is Friday of what is a holiday weekend. It's Easter weekend here. Interesting in that normally on an Easter weekend it would be a very popular weekend in the Keys. A lot of people would be maybe coming in. We'd see traffic coming down US 1. We'd see the neighborhoods begin to fill up. We'd see people lined up to get into Pennycamp Park. It's going to be a lot different this weekend. I think. The reality of what's going through will really probably hit us in a unique way this Easter weekend, because not only is it a holiday weekend where a lot of people will be doing something, for us as Christians it's a huge holiday weekend. It is the holiday weekend, Easter weekend, where we commemorate the death and resurrection of Jesus. Really huge for us. So anytime we have this, and speaking as a pastor, it's sort of like some people say it's like the Super Bowl in church world, where you put a lot of effort into it and you look forward to it and you plan a lot of things. And we typically have a pretty big weekend planned. Not this year. It'll be quite a bit different, which brought me to this reality that we're facing right now, and that's the reality of our expectations that are kind of a little bit off. There are a lot of people expecting a lot of things this time of year, not just Easter, not just a holiday, not just a long weekend getaway, but because of what's happening with the coronavirus and things, I see people that are posting expectations dashed. For instance, schools canceling prom. So ladies that had already bought their dresses, teenagers that were excited about all that is the senior prom, those expectations are pretty well gone. And there's even some places that have already canceled graduations, college graduations or high school graduations, all those years of working toward it. And what a great celebration it is when you graduate and your family's there and the cheering as you walk across that stage. Those expectations gone. I've seen nobody I know, but I've seen people talk about they had weddings planned during this period of time, and having to factor in, how are we going to have a wedding? What is it going to look like? And I know some people have had their weddings, even though a much smaller scale. I know some people that have had birthday parties, 1-year-old birthday parties, for instance. That'd be a pretty big deal normally, but right now with our social distancing, all the expectations, all the planning that go into it, just kind of fell apart. And I think back to that first Easter weekend when entering into the week on Palm Sunday and the days that began that week, there was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of expectation in the city of Jerusalem. I mean, the people, we've been going through the Psalms of Ascent on Sunday mornings and some of these Coffee with PC times. The people are making their way toward Jerusalem for the Passover celebration, one of the high holy days, one of the most exciting festivals for the Israelites. And so they're making their way, Jesus and his disciples doing the same thing. That's what Palm Sunday is, when they enter into Jerusalem. To be there in the capital city, that's swelling with people, a couple 300,000 people would be in and around Jerusalem for those events, and the sense of expectation, the sense of preparation, all the things that the people had done preparing for that holiday, to make sure they had the right animals for the sacrifice, to make sure as they got closer to Passover there were certain rituals as far as cleansing their dwelling, particularly of leaven, they would have to go through. And all of these things would have been going on, and the excitement would have been high as they knew they would go to the temple and they would celebrate. They would remember God's great deliverance from them, and they would be together with family and friends around the Seder meal together. In fact, just over my shoulder, actually this shoulder, I guess, you see I've got a piece of art, a Seder plate with the prayer shawl over it, reminding us of the Jewish heritage out of which our Christian faith comes. And into that atmosphere, into that great expectation, things changed. I mean, expectation was turned very quickly into disappointment. The hope of this great celebration. Could you imagine with Jesus and his disciples, even when one of them betrays him, and then when they go to the garden and he's arrested, and how all that they were hoping to suddenly kind of dashed. And maybe we can feel that a little bit these days with what's going on in our world with the coronavirus, that we have a lot of hopes. We have a lot of things maybe we're looking forward to, and those hopes are not being realized. And I wanted to point out a passage of scripture. It's actually in the book of Lamentations. The book of Lamentations, and the name of the book gets its root word lament. It's a poetic form in the Old Testament in Hebrew culture, a song of lament or a psalm of lament. There are several places in Scripture where there are laments, and Lamentations is a whole book written by the prophet Jeremiah, we believe, with some of the things that he lamented as he watched the state of Israel. But in the midst of this lament, there are these hopeful passages, and one of the ones I think you're probably familiar with, you might not recognize it in your mind as coming from Lamentations, is in Lamentations chapter 3, verses 21 through 23. I'm going to read it in just a minute, but there's a verse that you'll remember, and actually a song that came out, I believe, of this particular passage. It says this, Lamentations 3:21. Yet this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Now, the writer here was remembering his affliction and his wandering, the bitterness. His soul was downcast in verses 19 and 20. And then he says, yet this is what I remember, and this is what brings me hope. That God's great love is still there, and his compassions, his mercies are new every morning. Great is his faithfulness. I actually wrote some time ago a paraphrase of this verse. This is how I phrased it. I said, this is what I remember, what I need to remind myself of regularly. Though the circumstances may seem tough, even bleak, God is there. His character unchanged, his love endless, his mercies new, his faithfulness beyond what I can fathom. And that is the reminder to us. Yeah, this holiday weekend is going to be a lot different. The expectations we had for some things have probably been dashed, whether it's about Easter or whether it's about some other events in our life. But that doesn't change the unchanging character of God as the source of our hope. Great is his faithfulness. You know, one of my favorite verses in the New Testament is in Timothy. I don't remember the address where it is in Timothy right now, but this is what it says. He remains faithful even when I am faithless, because he cannot disown himself. You know, whatever is your situation today, whatever affliction, whatever wandering, whatever downcast soul, whatever fear, or whatever it is that you might be struggling with, I encourage you to remember the faithfulness of God. His faithfulness not dependent on your and my faithfulness. His faithfulness coming out of his very character, who he is and who he has revealed himself to be to us. Great is his faithfulness. So I hope this weekend you'll join us as we remember the faithfulness and the goodness of God. We start Good Friday tonight, 7 o'clock. We'll stream our online service. We have these communion cups for you. You don't have to use them. They're just available if you'd like them. It's got the wafer on top and the juice underneath. If you have crackers and juice, you can use that at home. But we have these. Just let us know. Call the office. Swing by. We'll give you some for your family. And then on Easter Sunday, don't forget we have our 6:45 sunrise service. We'll be broadcasting that live, and then 9 o'clock our normal stream from here in the church. Hope you can join us for both of those. I pray that in the midst of wherever you find yourself this Easter weekend, you'll be reminded often of the faithfulness of God. Well, thanks for joining me for another cup of coffee. I guess I should tell you what I'm drinking today. I don't know if you care, but I've been making that a habit of this thing. This is new coffee I got just yesterday from Steep and Brew, that online place I order from. Dark Kona blend, really good, nice, smooth cup of coffee. Quite enjoy it. Gotten a lot of good coffees from that place. So enjoy your coffee this morning. I'm going to enjoy mine. And I hope to see you tonight at our Good Friday service. Hope you can join us, and then on Easter Sunday. God bless you. Have a great day.